Hello and welcome to the Launch Your Second Act podcast. I'm your host, Angela Vassallo, and I'm so glad you are here. I'm a businesswoman, author, entrepreneur, speaker, stepmom, and mum. I know that's a lot of hats, and I know that you wear them too. I help ambitious women just like you dream big, spark ideas, create more clarity, and kick those big ideas into action. This podcast was designed for ambitious women who are at the unique junction in their lives. I call it the second act. Women who are conquering life's transitions and are becoming the main character in their second act. It's time to rediscover what you want and how to get it. Upgrade and master your inner game and raise your standards. Hear from amazing women who have overcome, transformed, and are reclaiming their desires. Embrace this time in our lives. This is not a time to slow down, it's a call to action to discover what you really want. I hope this podcast inspires you to amplify your belief that you are capable of achieving the epic life that you dare to envision. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to Launch Your Second Act podcast. Today we have a fabulous guest who I know you're all going to love. Her name is Andrea Ryff, and she's the owner of Achieve Pole Studio. She has got this most incredible business, and I'm so excited to hear from her today. But let me tell you a little bit about her background and what she's done. Well, she started pole at the age of 36, and she's been a passionate advocate for pole dancing for the last 14 years. She won the Australian Pole Championships in 2014 at the age of 40. And when she was up against some of these competitors half her age, she was able to really shine and show everybody what she had. Not only that, Andrea is a world champion. She has won the World Pole Championships not once, but twice in 2015 and 2018. Her career in pole has taken her all around the world, teaching workshops at pole studios and pole retreats. Now, at the age of 50, she's about to get back on the stage with some of the younger ones and strut her stuff. She started her business and opened her first studio, Achieve Pole Studio, in 2012. And this year in August, she will celebrate 12 years in business, which is an amazing achievement in itself. She's an amazing woman who has so much wisdom and knowledge to share about the fitness and business industry. So welcome, Andrea. Lovely to have you on our show. How are you?
Right. Thank you. You're good for my ego. You make me sound amazing. I love it.
Fantastic. Well, I don't think you should have any worries about that. I know when we chatted recently, I know that you've just turned 50. So you're 50 and fabulous. And like I said, you look amazing. You're as fit as a fiddle. So we just really want to find out today what you do to keep so fit and looking so fabulous. However, what we'll start with, I want to find out how your journey started for you to move into the pole dancing industry world and then eventually start your own business. I know when we spoke, you spoke about you started out in your younger years as a gymnast, which makes sense. That's why, you're so flexible and fit. And then you moved into aerobics. I know aerobics was really huge, back in the 80s, and everybody was doing that type of thing. And then pole dancing, you stumbled across this incredible world of pole dancing and you just loved it so much. You become an advocate for it. And then I guess the transition just led into you starting your own business and starting your own Achieve Pole Studio. So tell me a little bit about that transition and how that came about in your journey there.
Yes. So I was a gymnast from a young age. My mother was a gymnastics coach. So I automatically sort of went into that world. And then I moved into rhythmic gymnastics. So I started as an artistic gymnast with the bar beam and all of that. And then I moved into rhythmic. Loved that. And then I moved into sportive aerobics at the age of 19, I was. So you got too old for gymnastics and moved into sportive aerobics. So I've always been someone who's been into fitness and movement and challenging my body. And, gymnastics is something that is for kids. Sportive aerobics, it's an impact sport. It's not as popular these days as it was back in the 1990s. So yeah, I was looking for something as an adult. So I always in the gym, but got quite bored with, the gym program. Yes, it kept me fit, but I was just looking for something that, that challenged me. And I remember this was in the early 2000s. I used to go to a gym class, and there were a couple of women who were older than me. So they were both in their 40s at the time. And they used to come to the classes with like bruises on their legs and things. And I'd be like, what's the bruises from? Found out that they'd been sneaking off to a place in Fishwick and learning pole dancing from some strippers, which I was incredibly fascinated by. So I think that always stuck in my mind. That I moved to Sydney and thought, I'd love to sort of try it, did a Google search, and then one day walked past my girlfriend's desk at work, and she, lo and behold, had the same website up on her screen. So I tapped her on the shoulder and went, I've been looking at this website, shall we go? So her, myself, and 3 other of our work colleagues, off we went to this pole fitness class, and I was terrible at it. Like, I really walked in thinking, oh, I'm going to be amazing. I've got a background as a gymnast. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I couldn't do anything. The only thing I could do was a headstand. And there's my girlfriend, 2 of my girlfriends up the top, literally climbed to the top of the pole on day 1. So it was a bit of an ego crush, I guess.
Yeah.
And I love a challenge and I hate being beaten. So the stubborn woman in me said, well, I'm going to, try and
Figure this out. Yeah. And give it a go.
Exactly. Signed up for another term. And then I think it took about 8 weeks. And then all of a sudden my body was like, okay, I think I understand what's going on. But I had to work really, really hard at getting good. But there's no way I would have thought that I would be a world champion at that point, because it's just, I didn't.
Which is just phenomenal. Yes, absolutely. Do
Yeah.
you I think when you think about pole dancing, I think people underestimate how hard it actually is. To pull your entire body weight up on a pole and then do all those incredible movements that you do. It takes a lot of strength, a lot of core strength, a lot of upper strength and your legs. And, it must be such an incredible fitness workout for you. Do you find more women are coming into the world of your studio now in pole for fitness levels? Like, they really want to get fit, so they just come in and just say, I'm going to give this a go and, check this out, because they just know the type of body that you can get from it and the fitness level that you can achieve?
Yeah, look, that is one of the reasons. Absolutely. Like, people do watch the videos and think, oh, wow, but a lot of the pole dancers that you see on social media or YouTube they're in great shape.
Yes.
But it's actually a real common misconception. So, we're the ones that do put the content out there, but most people come into the studio because they're looking for something different to do, similar to what I wanted.
Right.
Challenge. So they're looking for a community, a female dominant space, which I think is really hard to find at the moment. And I think that it's a very empowering space. So we support one another, we cheer one another on, we empower one another. We don't bring people down, other women down here. So it's a very inclusive space. Getting fit is definitely on the radar, but it's kind of a byproduct of
right. So you're finding more women are being drawn to this for the empowerment of it, they're being part of a community and just taking on a challenge like this, but it's just a real sense of empowerment for a lot of women.
Absolutely. Like, I liken it to our business coaching group. Like, I think that you're surrounded by these people who really want to see you achieve.
Sure.
See what I did there?
Yeah. But it's achieved. Yeah.
That's where the name
very
came
clever.
From. But that's actually the truth of the matter. Like, that's, we're here. We want you to the students, and this is how you can walk in and not know anyone, and everybody wants to see you achieve that skill.
Sure.
And applauds you. So, and I think that that's what a lot of women, that's what we look for, and that's what we like. We're also quite social. There's a lot of laughs. You don't get a lot of that at the gym or your local Pilates class. So and then at the same time, yes, what you've said, yes, you do require upper body strength, but at the start, you actually don't. You just need to have a great attitude, because there's not a lot of lifting or weight bearing exercises. It's more, walking around the pole and doing moves that don't require you to pull up.
Mm.
But then because you're moving around the pole, you are actually working a lot of those stabilizer muscles. And that's where that strength then develops more so than you would get at the gym. So I used to go to the gym and lift some pretty heavy weights.
Yes.
And as probably about a year in from doing pole, my body just changed dramatically. My waist became, you know, all the points, my shoulders became more defined, my legs became more defined. I looked taller and leaner. So
yes,
it's because it's functional. So I think that, yeah, a lot of women unfortunately don't start pole because they think, well, I don't have the upper body strength. But it's actually, that's what you're going to gain by
that's
doing
what
it.
you'll gain from it.
Absolutely. Yes, correct.
And look, you've
In
got
high
such
levels, yeah, absolutely. You need that upper body strength. But as a beginner,
yeah. What I've noticed about your studio is that you've got some, like, they all love going there. Like, I've seen a lot of your photos and everything, and your Instagram page, which is huge. It's amazing some of the things you're able to do, but I know that you've got this incredible group of women that all follow you, and they're just so inspired by what you're teaching them. You've got this, this great following. So are you finding now that there's more and more women that are looking to come and do your classes and be part of your studio? Are you finding a certain age group is it more women in their 40s and 50s that might be stepping up into your studios now and looking for something a bit different for them?
we've got quite a diverse age. So it's probably predominantly 24 to sort of 34 is the majority of them. But we've got women in their 50s and late 50s coming to classes, and some of them are actually my strongest students. So
Right.
in my advanced class, which I think is really cool, we've got 3 over 50 and 1 that's approaching 50. And that's actually makes up half of the class. And I think that's I think that's very inspiring, because you sort of would think that the younger ones dominate. But I think that women over 40 and 50 come in with a very different mindset. They're a lot more committed to the process. They're willing to work harder. I find there's a lot less whinging and complaining when things hurt a little bit, because pole does hurt.
Yeah.
And I think, and I think women get stronger as they get older.
Yes.
It's apparent. I see it in the pole community all the time.
Oh, that's awesome. And I think it's something that not everybody thinks about doing first. They probably think, hey, I'm going to go and try the gym, or maybe a Pilates class or an aerobics class or yoga. And then now, this option that you have here, this studio is so awesome. And just another like opportunity for women to be able to really find themselves and step into their power and really get to know themselves. And I think it would be extremely empowering as well to be able to get up the pole and be able to give yourself and I just feel like it'd be very empowering for women. I mean, I see you, and I know you're a world champion. Like, you've done phenomenally well, and and I think that that's something it's just so inspirational. And you've got these incredible women that follow you. But are you finding that? Tell me what the misconceptions are when it comes to pole dancing or Achieve Pole Studio. Do you find there's misconceptions about what you actually do and your business and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first misconception is you need to be strong. You need to have upper body, or you need to be a certain age, or you need to be able to touch your toes. That's probably the most common thing. And exactly what you just mentioned, I'm going to go and do the gym, or I'm going to go to a Pilates class, I'm going to go yoga so I can get fit for pole, is usually what we hear. And it's like, no, it's pole will get you fit. And pole is actually a combination of all those things. It's a combination of your, weight training, because it's body weight, yoga with your mobility, and Pilates with that core strengthening. So it's a all-in-one kind of, sports offering or fitness offering.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the biggest misconception. And I think that's the main one that really holds a lot of women back. Body confidence is another one. You don't actually need to be thin or strong or lean or anything. That, the pole actually likes, and we always say, it likes the meat. So, the saying, thick thighs save lives. Well, that is definitely true for pole.
Sure.
And, we don't discriminate. Pole does not discriminate with body shape.
Yeah.
And yeah, we still very much have that stuck in that stigma around, you know, all pole dancers are strippers. Pole studios are teaching women to be strippers, and that couldn't be further from the truth at all. So it's, you know, pole does, you know, come from the roots of the strip clubs, and very grateful for the women that brought it into the studios so that do it in a space that is a lot more accessible for women these days. But, you know, women don't come here so they can become performers. Although we do obviously, you know, get women who do come in here and want to compete and perform, and that's great. But the majority are just, you know, they come here to feel good about themselves. And exactly what you said, what's empowering about pole is that you see something and your head instantly goes, I can't do that, or I'll never be able to do that. Oh, I won't be able to go upside down. So you think that. And then when you achieve it, it's just such a rush, you know, when you think, well, hang on a minute. I remember when a pole sit used to be quite painful for me and I couldn't do it. And now I sit, you know, I do a pole sit as a rest. I sit here and I take a bit of a break because I'm doing other crazy stuff. So
you're seeing a change in the women when they come in from beginning to end, and you know, yes, and they get through, they're inspiring themselves because they're being able to achieve something that they didn't think that they could achieve, and overcoming the limiting belief that they couldn't possibly hang themselves upside down or do this incredible, you know, strengthening performance that you guys do. So it must be very empowering for a lot of women, but also to overcome those limiting beliefs that they have.
So I call them fist pump moments, you know, those moments where you go upside down for the first time. You've worked so hard to get there, and then you get it and you just can't help but give yourself a bit of a pat in the back, and that fist pump moment where you go, yes, you know, and there's such a rush that comes with that. And then I think that filters further on into your life where you think, well, hang on a minute, I just proved myself wrong, right? I thought I wouldn't be able to do that. How many other things in my life am I also wrong,
holding yourself back?
And where else in my life am I holding myself back? That leads into friendships, relationships, how you project your business, you know, your position within a company, for example, you know, asking that promotion or standing your ground with something that you believe in. Like, I think you know, it really gets you to
stop. All part of it.
Absolutely. So it really does project outside the studio, as you know.
Totally. No, that's so important as well. I can totally see that, because it is about whatever is holding you back in life and what you believe you can achieve. And when you get in there and you be able to do things more than you ever thought you could physically is an amazing, you know, it's amazing triumph for a lot of women. So I'm sure it'd be, you know, for you to see them change and be able to do that would be an incredible experience. And you're a great teacher. You know, I've seen the women that all love you and follow you. And, you know, I think that what would be one thing that you would say to a woman that is considering coming along to a class and trying it for the first time, trying pole for the first time? What would be something that you would say to encourage her and give her the confidence that, you know, this is something that she could step into and it would be, you know, a really good thing for her?
Anybody can do it. Like there are no limitations. So I think just come and try. Just do it.
Give it a go. Yeah,
give it a go. But you've got to come in with, I think you really do need to come in with the acceptance that it's going to potentially suck. It's going to be different to anything you've done before. It's going to feel uncomfortable, a little bit awkward. You're not going to look like all of those videos that you see on social media. And that's the fun part of it, you know, and that's, you know, you just give it a go. You come in with a great attitude and stick to it. Like, it takes at least sort of 4 to 5 classes before you start to understand what's going on.
Right.
But grab a friend. But even if you're looking for a community, you know, you've moved to a new city or something like that, you know, your pole studio is actually a really great way to make some really, really firm, fast friendships.
Yeah, I could imagine. That's awesome. Well, that's really great for our listeners to think of, because I think that, you know, we're always, look, I don't know, personally for me, I'm always thinking about what else can I do for my wellness? What else can I do for my fitness? What else can I do for something different? And, you know, I'm in my 50s now too. So I'm just looking for something that I enjoy, that is not like so hard on my body. I can't run like I used to, with so many things that I can't do. And I'm just not somebody that wants to go to the gym all the time and be around all the guys and lift all the weights. I'm not interested in doing that. But something like this in a female environment, and just, really being able to experience that, that whole community that you have, and then achieve something that you think, wow, look how far I'm coming, But you're right. You have to start with the end in mind, and understand that when you do start, you're probably going to be pretty goofy and pretty hopeless in the beginning. However, that's like anything in life, isn't it? And then you become so much better at it as you keep going.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, the thing is that what we see is that pole it's non-impact, right? That's a big, big, big thing. It's non-impact. It's
Right.
weight. It's functional, which is also huge. You're not lifting a weight on the end, so you're not picking up a dumbbell and putting that excess pressure on your joints. To work within your range. And it's also it's the one form of fitness that I think you can do for the rest of your life. One of my biggest inspirations, her name is Greta Pontarelli, and she has won, yes, I've won 2 world championship titles. Greta has won, I don't know how many. I think she was up to like 13 or something at last count. Might even be more than that. But Greta is in her 70s.
Wow.
She still does the human flag. So
Wow.
she hangs herself sideways, which is something that, when a male comes into the studio, that's the first thing they want to try and can't. And then you've got Greta, who's in her 70s, who's
In her
just
70s. That's incredible, isn't it?
But you see this a lot. Like
Yes.
I know so many within the pole community that have been part of the pole community for like 20 plus years, and they're going strong. So yeah, it's definitely, I think, a sport for life. And I personally genuinely believe it's the #1 sport fitness for women.
That's awesome. So probably really women in their second act, which is,
100%.
all the community we're talking about, women in their 40s and 50s, and, it's something they can be a part of, and, bring a friend along, and, have a go, and, come along to a class. So
what I like about it too, actually, on that note, is that I do remember having a conversation with a woman who had, she started pole because she'd had a couple of kids, and she felt it was not intimidating, but it was just too much of a trigger for her to go back to the things that she used to be able to do, but she couldn't do anymore at that, because obviously as you become a mother, or you get older, your body does change, and there are certain things that we just isn't for us anymore. So she said, she goes, I just wanted to go and do something that was so completely out of my comfort zone, so different to anything that I'd ever done, that I had no choice but to drop all my expectations and just be like, okay, let's go for a ride and see what happens. And she just loved it. And I think that's another benefit from pole. And also, when we're a bit older, we're not really caught up in the ego of, oh, well, I need to
look my best, and I don't want to fall flat on my face. You kind of, you're a bit over that,
Yes, when you get over 50, you sort of get to a point where you're like, yeah, who cares?
Yeah, I'm doing this for me now. I'm going to try to figure this out for myself. Yes, I probably will fall many times on my butt, but I am, I'm going to get there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what I think. So I think definitely for your second act, I think pole should be on the list. 100%.
I think so too. I'm definitely going to come in to your studio and try one of your classes. And yeah, absolutely. So tell me, Andrea, how can people find you? So for instance, if people want to come and try one of your classes, or bring a group of friends and, give it a go, how would they find you? Because everything we're going to do now, we're actually going to put into the show notes as well, so we can, let everybody know how they can find you, and put the link in there too. But let us know where your studio is and when you're open, and a little bit about your classes.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, and I've got a very basic name. Instagram handle. It's just my name, Andrea Ryff. That's my Instagram handle. Achieve Pole Studio is the studio that's the handle for the studio. And yeah, I mean, I'm very much moving into a space where I would love to start really working with women over 50, and working with groups of women who, are saying, right, I want to step into my power. I feel more confident. I want to, stand more confidently in those, every time the camera comes out. And So I am definitely looking for women over 50 who would love to, make a change and try something different.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyone who's interested, I would love the contact, and I will make
Where are
it.
you based, Andrea? Where are you based?
I'm in Rosebery in Sydney in the inner west.
Right, great. Rosebery. Excellent. Yeah. Very easy to get to. Yes, yeah. And I know that I think it's what you're talking about is a great idea with women in their 40s and 50s to even try this, because one of the things I talk about is women in their second act. It's not a time to slow down. It's a call to action, and meaning that you've got the time now to really do what you want to do. Like, you've been running the kids around doing all their sports for all these years, and a lot of them are growing up and doing their own things now and have their own cars. And now's the time for you to say, hey, what do I want to do for myself? Maybe I've got time to take myself to a class, rather than, taking everybody else around as an Uber, training everybody for all that time. You can really focus on yourself now. So this would be something amazing for women to step into, and not only just, enjoy a fitness class and get fit while they're doing it, but also overcome so much mentally, physically, emotionally. I think would be, an incredible experience for a lot of women too. I think there's a lot more to pole than what people think. I think it's very much it's not only it's a head and body thing and heart thing, I think, as well. So I think it's a whole combination of things that you would find that you would get out of it once you sort of started.
100% body, mind, and soul. And
Yeah.
it is a form of care. And I think, I think a lot of women, there are points in their lives where women can lose themselves a little bit. So becoming for example, like as you've just said, like women really sacrifice everything for their kids.
Yes.
And also, there is something very intimidating, I found anyway, about turning 50. I just felt like I had this voice in my head that was like, well, your life is over, you're past your due date, you're no longer desirable, or all these sorts of horrible things that I would tell myself. And none of that is actually true. And I think Paul gives you that back. It's time for you to focus on you. And there's, for me, feeling good about myself too. Like we were talking earlier about the pole heels. I love stepping into those pole heels and it makes me stand differently. My body looks different. My outfit different. There's just something so powerful about stepping into that power suit and that power.
Owning who you are.
That's right, owning who you are. And I think that as women, often we struggle to give ourselves permission to be sexy or to be powerful or to be vocal.
Yes.
There's a list of things that women are, we give ourselves a hard time about.
Absolutely. And that, it is, you're absolutely right, Andrea. I think that there's so much to what you just said. You're never too old. It's never too late. It's like you haven't missed the boat. It's the perfect time now, the perfect time for women in their 40s and 50s. And when you've got that time to yourself now where you can say, what do I want to do for me? And then give yourself the permission. Give yourself the permission to try something different, to have a go, to do it for you. And it's something you don't even have to tell people what you're doing.
That's
just
what I was about to say.
Don't tell your husband and your kids and all that, and they're all laughing at you or what. I'm going to go do something for myself, and I'll let you know about it down the track. It's really something like that I think women could do for themselves.
With your closest girlfriends and go do it for you. You don't speak to anyone else, because unfortunately then everyone gives their opinion. And then you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe it's not for, that again is with starting a business, right? Oh, you shouldn't do it because you might fail. You might be silly. You might do this. It's like, well, just do it.
Well, it's also about, in this time of your life, is trusting yourself. So when you make a decision for yourself, give yourself the permission and trust yourself that the decision you're making for yourself is the right decision. You're a grown ass woman. You can do what you want to do, and you can have a great life. So I think that that's been a really great interview. And I think that's going to be really very, very important for women to listen to today, because I know that there's so many things that hold women back. And I think one of the key things is this limiting belief and not giving yourself permission and stepping outside of your comfort zone and trying something new for the first time. And I think sometimes women lose their confidence in this time of life, and it's about regaining back that confidence and, figuring out who you are again and what you want out of your life. But I think this is something, I think there's something here, Andrea. I think there's something for women, especially these types, this age group, to really, connect with you and come along to one of your classes and, reimagine their lives and rediscover who they really are. So yeah, I just really encourage people to go along to one of Andrea's classes and give it a go. Why not? And yeah.
Work online with women as well. So that's definitely an option, coming down the track as well. So even if you're not in my local area, definitely, if you have any questions, reach out. I'm always happy to have discussions.
Fabulous.
With women and, develop that side of things. So
awesome.
Well, I'm stepping into my second act as well.
Oh, I know. What are you doing now? So what's the thing that you're about to do now? Because I know you were saying that you're just about to step back on the stage again and do something phenomenal. What are you doing now?
I am. So I'd hung up my pole dancing heels and I was like, that's it. And then I got an invitation to, it's called Pole Icon, which is this invitation only massive Australian competition that sees the best of the best.
Wow.
So I got an invitation to that. My initial reaction was, oh my God, no, I can't. I've been out of the game for too long. So it's been almost 6 years since I've been on stage.
Right.
And then I was, you know what, there's a reason that they've come to me. I've just turned 50. This is a great opportunity. And I'm going to say yes. So I said yes to it and very, very excited. I will be doing a theme that is very close to what we've discussed today.
Okay, great.
And yeah, I'm very much
looking forward to
getting
up. Exciting.
Yeah, but I had to deal with the same mindset. It's just I can't do what I used to do 6 years ago. And I've really had to sit down and dig deep and think, well, what can I do to remain my authentic self up on stage? And I think that I'm just like, listen, I my mind, my body moves differently. I feel differently. I'm in a different place than where I was 6 years ago. So what does that look like for me? And I've just changed things around a little bit. And I think that what I'll put on stage is something that I'm going to be very proud of. So I'm really excited to sort of get back into.
That's awesome. I'm excited for you. I'm so excited for you. I think that's fabulous. And I just love seeing women just, just own the stage like that and just go for it, and yes, of course you're going to feel nervous. Of course there's changes, in your body and who you are, but you're going for it. And I love that, you're going to rock it. I know you're going to be amazing, Andrea, and you're an inspiration. And I just want to thank you for coming on the Launch Your Second Act podcast today, our show. It's been awesome interviewing you. I know that it's going to inspire a lot of women, and I know you'll probably end up having a lot of women, get in contact with you as well. So I want to thank you again and all the best with your, your new one that you've got coming up. And I can't wait to see you shine on the stage.
Thank you. And thank you for always being such an inspiration as well, Angela. You're an incredible woman and I look up to you. And I think a lot of where I am right now is because of you. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's lovely. I really appreciate that. Well, all the best, Andrea. And we'll definitely put all your details in the show notes. So for anyone who wants to connect with you and come and try one of your classes, I highly recommend it.
Thank you very, very much.
All right. See you soon. Thank you for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. Like I've always said, there are so many podcasts out there that you can listen to, and the fact that you're here listening to this one, I am so grateful. So thank you so much. This podcast is all about taking center stage of your life in your second act. And your second act isn't a time to slow down. It's a call to action. It's your life and it's your rules. Thank you again. I really, really appreciate you. And if you think that anybody would benefit from this, please share and even tag me in at Angela Vassallo and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye for now.